and welcome. I'm Gavin Jenkins, Senior Managing Editor of Roads and Bridges. Today, we'll be discussing teen driving education and addressing the gap most curriculum have when teaching teens how to navigate work zones. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, motor vehicle crashes are recognized as the leading cause of death for teens. In addition, most people killed in work zone traffic crashes are drivers and their passengers. So Work Zone Safe and ATSS Foundation have partnered to create a nationwide program that educates the next generation of drivers on how to safely traverse work zones, protecting themselves and roadway workers. With us today is Tom Robbins. He is the president of Solid Foundation Consulting and the driving force behind WorkZoneSafe.com, a website providing teen driving education for work zones. Tom, before we begin, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thanks for having me, Tom Robbins. I live here in the heartland of Oklahoma. Married an Oklahoma girl after living a number of years in DC. My background's in public and government affairs. Had the opportunity most recently to serve as the Deputy Secretary of Energy for the previous governor. In Oklahoma, we have a lot of oil and gas development. And what that means, we're going to have a lot of trucks on the road. So when I pointed this out to the governor, sometimes when you raise your hand, that means you get a new assignment. So she said, "Hey, go leave this cabin of mine and go figure that out." So tackled energy, traffic, and safety, and then ultimately using those lessons, applying them to work zone and move over safety to ensure that we have a safe work zone.
Excellent, excellent. Are you ready to begin? You're on the
Let's
hot
go.
seat.
All right.
Okay, all right. Let's do this. Why are young drivers particularly at risk of injuring themselves or others in work zone or first responder scenarios?
Well, first of all, we need to recognize where the state is at right now when it comes to safety. Unfortunately, what we're seeing on our roads is unprecedented. We're in a what Pete Buttigieg would say, the Secretary of Transportation, a public health crisis. Why? Well, from my perspective, we've basically flooded our streets with digitally drunk drivers. And so we're taking those digital technologies into the car, and what that is showing up as is a record number of injuries and fatalities, particularly in our work zones or with our first responders in those critical situations. Teens are young. In fact, I'm talking from experience. My oldest son, who's 15, literally just took his first driving on the road experience test with the driving school this last week. So I'm right there as a parent. And what I'm seeing is we just haven't caught up to how we need to educate and engage teens on the risks that are out there. And so that's what it's all about. That's what we need to do. So our teen drivers, for example, the ages of 16 to 25, the most likely chance of fatality or serious injury comes behind the wheel as a passenger or as a driver. We see that that continues to increase. Our latest statistics from 2021 from the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration tells that's gone up by over 9%. So roads are safer, they're built safer, cars are safer, but it's that human element. There's something that we're not doing, there's something that we're missing. And so teen drivers are at particular risk for injury and fatality as new drivers out on the road.
Right. What do teen drivers need to know about work zones?
The number one mission of Work Zone Safe is for teen drivers to recognize before they get those keys in hand that there's a face and family behind every flag and behind every flashing light. Literally, teen drivers can pass a work zone and never make the connection that there's a face and family behind that flag, behind that cone, behind that flashing light. And so, really, the number one thing they need to do is have that empathy and recognize that their behaviors, whether positive or negative, are not just going to have an impact on themselves, but going to have an impact on others. So, literally, what we're trying to do is open up their eyes and have them understand from their peers, people who have been impacted, that there's a face and family behind every flag and flashing light. If we can do that, we know that teens are great. My kiddos are great. My one that's learning how to drive, he's a fantastic kid, but he doesn't know what he doesn't know. And it's on us as an industry to be able to educate and engage that teen driver to let them know that there's a face and family behind every flashing light, cone, and flag.
What does ATSS Foundation's National Work Zone Safe Teen Driver Program offer?
Well, what it does, it offers every single parent the opportunity to have their teen. So, nervous parents out there who want their teens to be educated on how to be a safe, confident driver in a work zone and to share it with our first responders can do that right away. There's nothing that they need to do. It's free. It's available to every single parent, and it's available to every single team. So whether you're a parent, whether you're a concerned teacher, whether you're a teen driver yourself, because of the partnership, number one, you can have access to the course absolutely free. So you learn how to be a safe, confident driver in a work zone. And number two, we'll talk about you can be recognized and rewarded for taking that step and saying, hey, I want to be a work zone safe driver. And that's something that I'm committed to. And that's something that's important for me. The ATSA Foundation has done an amazing work in providing scholarships for teens whose parents have been critically injured or killed in a work zone. What we want to do is start flipping the script a little bit about that and seeing the other side of the coin and saying, hey, wait, can we have those peers tell their story and then educate and engage their fellow teens so that those teens are motivated to be work zone safe? So we're not just having to provide scholarships to those who unfortunately have been injured or killed and have experienced that trauma and that tragedy, but we can also provide scholarships to champion and elevate teens who are willing to step forward amongst their peers and say, hey, I'm going to put the phone down. I'm going to have eyes up, phone down, buckle up, and slow down because I want to be a work zone safe driver to be able to help my fellow teens who got their family working out there in the work zone.
How do teens take the National Work Zone Safe Teen Driver Training?
It's really simple. They can go to the ATSA website, click on the foundation. They can go under programs, and it's right there under youth. They'll just click on the national one. There's a webinar, there's information for chapter presidents out there or people in the construction industry that are affiliated with ATSA. You can get a toolkit and how to bring it home and how to spread the word and how to reach and engage your community, your driving schools, your schools, your classes, your superintendents you might know in the community. Or they can just go directly to workzonesafe.com, simply just workzonesafe.com. They'll scroll down, they'll just click the national course. They'll enroll, just provide their name and their email, and they're ready to go. It's an online free course that they can take that's available 365, 24/7, as the kids like to say today, available at the click of a button that they can take, come back to, and really it's the way that kids learn.
This is a really important program. How did Work Zone Safe partner with the ATSS Foundation?
The mission of ATSA and the foundation, obviously safety is the number one priority. So as I was developing this, I thought I was developing a solution just for Oklahoma. But what I found out was that really that there was states all across the country and there was organizations like ATSA who wanted tools and resources to be able to educate and engage new teen drivers. And it really we launched not knowing what would happen, but the results have been phenomenal. We've had over 2,000 students across the country take this Work Zone Safe program.
Right. Well, how did Oklahoma become the first state in the country to modernize teen driver education by requiring work zones and move over safe course completion in order to receive their driver's license?
We did it as sort of a carrot approach, a voluntary way that teen drivers could learn about work zone safety and then be recognized and rewarded. As we did that, we realized that we were getting a great response, that parents loved it, kids appreciated it, new teen drivers were safer and more confident, and the industry supported it. And guess what? The sky wasn't falling. And so we went to the legislature and said, hey, would you rather stick with the pamphlet approach and these one or two questions, or would you rather have us rise to the occasion and provide modern tools for teen drivers to be a safe, confident driver in the work zone? And we got them to say modernized tools. So we found a House author, we found a Senate author, and went out, talked to our legislators, had the hearings, brought in the experts, and guess what? We got it passed out of the House, we got it passed out of the Senate, and Governor Stitt, the governor of Oklahoma, signed the bill making Oklahoma the first state in the country to require work zone and move over safe curriculum in order for a teen driver to receive what we call here their intermediate driver's license. That law went into effect November 1st of this last year, and the results have absolutely been phenomenal, just totally blown us away.
That's incredible. More states should do that. How would someone go about getting this program required as part of their state's process to license teen drivers?
That's a great question. Actually, states have been reaching out, and that's one of the things that we want to help them with. We can absolutely give them the template. We want to be able to give that away for free. We'll put you in contact with the legislators who are the bill authors. We'll give you the exact bill language that we used. And actually, Wisconsin I've been working with them this last year, and they put together a bill that would require work zone safe training in order for teens to be able to receive their driver's license. And I'm happy to report it's been approved by their Senate, it's been approved by their House. Now it's sitting on the governor's desk. Hopefully soon to be able to get the signature of the governor, which would make Wisconsin the second state. So Oklahoma first, looks like Wisconsin might be second. Other states have been reaching out. So really we see this as a domino effect where people are saying, wait a second, Oklahoma's done this. We can do it too. If they can modernize work zone safety, certainly we can put that front and center. And really it's straightforward. It's an opportunity to partner and to be work zone safe. And when you go to lawmakers and say, do you want teen drivers to know that there's a face and family behind every flag and flashing light? We get a yes almost every single time because people recognize that there's a lot happening out on the roads and that there's a record number of injuries and fatalities. So the ATSS Foundation has been a great partner. They offer a scholarship with our national work zone safe program. So if teens out there, or if you know a teen, have them take the program and they'll be entered to win a $500 monthly scholarship that's available through the foundation and that they can be recognized and rewarded. And we've given out more than a dozen of those scholarships, and we're just going to continue to grow.
Well, that's all the time we have today for helping teen drivers safely navigate work zones. I'd like to thank my guest, Tom Robbins, president of Solid Foundation Consulting. And I want to remind all of you to visit workzonesafe.com. I'm Gavin Jenkins, Senior Managing Editor of Roads and Bridges. Thank you for joining.